gentleman who is a retired teacher. He's now a full-time poet, which, like, I've tried to be a full-time poet. It's hard, man. People don't pay you very well. I don't know about you, but, like, it's a struggle. In 2005, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's and did something really cool that he came up with movement poetry, free-form poetics. Parky jazz is what he calls it. And I actually hope to hear a little bit more about it on stage if you mind sharing. He has been nominated for a Governor's Award, 2018. Please welcome to the stage, Wayne Gilbert.
Wow. Nice to see you all. Glad to be here. Yeah. I'm going to open with a love poem. I didn't know it was a love poem when I wrote it, but when I shared it with my wife, she said, "That's the nicest love poem you've ever written for me." It's called Crutches. While we were at the Desert Museum near Tucson, Brian and I went off on our own, and Alice went back to the cafe to wait for us. She was on crutches, unable to wear her prosthesis. No one can really understand how she feels when she can't walk like the rest of us walk, when she has to sit out another adventure because she's handicapped. Perhaps you can imagine how hard it is to rely for mobility on crutches, but you would be dead wrong, because when you needed crutches, you knew it was temporary.
Preach, do it.
You crutched without fear, and most of your world turned around you, your care and your recovery. Someone asked, "What happened to you?" And you told a story of some injury or operation, foolishness, accident. You had not already lived 50 years without a leg, nor the rest of your life worrying how long you'd be ambulatory. As Alice swung all her weight in her palms, the muscle mass across her upper chest, working hard as any athlete, her disciplined attention focused like a yogi on the path at her foot. 3, I said 3, not 1, not 2, but 3.
Yeah.
People commented, "Oh, honey, you're doing so well." Such condescending privilege, soulless pity makes me sick. spit on their feet, sneer, fuck you. Of course, I know why. Although the flat tones of despair, after a lifetime of being dismissed, discounted, ignored, marginalized, objectified, infantilized, all that super crip, if you can dream it, you can do it, fucking bullshit, non-disabled people used to shield themselves from their own fear. Oh, yeah, I know. People mean well. Well, people who mean well do far more harm than bullies. And good intentions do not make up for stupid cruelty. So-called normals who did, after all, allow the mass murder of 275,000 people with disabilities in the final solution. Oh, if you think that's a ridiculous leap, you have not been paying attention. You have not watched the TSA at work, and DIA suggest your complicity. Perhaps you can tell I'm a little angry. Well, what the fuck do you expect? When my beloved is intentionally, publicly humiliated because the world is designed and constructed for others, not for her, I said, not for her, not for my beloved, not for her whose life matters more than, whose life matters more than, whose life matters more than mine.
Yeah. Yeah. That is it.
I don't believe in balance and counterbalance, weight and counterweight, these false dichotomous oppositions. I think they come from our own bipedal orientation. If we were four-legged, or 8 or 37, we could certainly find this constant shifting from one foot to the other, extremely limited, odd, childish, handicapped, since life is clearly a chaos of limbs requiring sophisticated multidimensional awareness, complicated systems of randomly interrelated choreography, a wide array of musical notations for compositions can accommodate the intricacies of infinite improvisational possibilities. Two is always alive. Two is always alive. 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 shoulders, 2 arms. We live in a teeter-totter world where everything is one or the other. Over or under, this or that, pro or con, right or left, right or wrong. Oh, for God's sake, make up your fucking mind. Choose a side, get on it, make a commitment. You're either for us or against us, good or bad, it's up to you. This human bipolar bifurcation is madness. The way our bodies keep us so dumbed down. The gift of physical, I said the gift of physical loss is being suddenly, irrevocably expelled from our little space capsule, where binomial compliance was only an effect of design, not of reality. We are adrift in a completely unknowable space in which antipathies are absurd. We are so heavy-footed I cannot express nor emphasize nor explain how terrifying free is. Most of us will commit any atrocity, any atrocity to avoid free. Make no mistake. This is the lecture part of the poem. Giving up these distractions, these distinctions, these dichotomies, like this world and the next world is the hardest goddamn thing you'll ever do. The agonies of grief are real until one settles in, allows the limitless movement to play on, play out, play on, play out, beyond, within and without, in the space of melted resistance. Bodiless dancing. Of course, to be honest, some days I still feel like shit.
One and a half.
One and a half.
Whatever that means for you.
So the 12-page poem is out.
Oh, God. Get ready, guys.
A certain age with bagel. Somebody's bagel exploded before I arrived. The table was covered with seeds and crumbs, and maybe a child went after it. I don't know, like a wild animal. It made me laugh. Ask for a rag to wipe the surface clean. All of this after learning a friend had cancer removed from her face and has decided to sell her house where she and her husband spent so many winters until he was gone now. She wants to stay closer to family. Then my brother, too, is moving away. We're all way too old for this shit, I'm telling you. We're just too old for this shit. But we're each a certain age, you see, when we have to consider how to spend our last days. And the truth is, we always imagine every choice is part of a plan. Will certainly work out. In our favor, of course. Because we're here forever. Just like the bagel maker does not leave the kitchen without prepping for the next early shift. We're all so confident the world circles round and round, synchronizes exactly with our personal calendars. Because that's what God intended. I have a master's degree in theology. I know these things. Forever young. And Then the little flame inside flickers, undeniably fades. A beloved cat asleep in the window will never chase another butterfly outside of that philosopher's dream. I do not intend to move again except under a sheet on a gurney. Don't back that fucking truck up to my house. Then I remember reading about a runaway bagel. Do you know that poem? Ridiculously rolling, uncatchable down the street. How do you think that is going to end?
I got tears in my eyes, man. Oh, God. Thank you, Wayne. That was incredible, man.
Yeah.
Our last performer in the first act is a mythical unicorn beast whose favorite instrument is also his